Shalom. Before I start, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. I'd like to say double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well and teach well. And also Shalom and salutations to the brothers out there laboring in this work as well. So this lesson that I'm going to be getting into today, it's going to be a real quick lesson just going into how that the law cannot basically it can't save us. We're not going to be saved based off keeping the law perfectly. We're not our righteousness is not measured based off the law, how well we keep the law. Because for one, we have to understand that it's impossible to keep every part of the law, but knowing that also that it's impossible to keep every part of the law, it doesn't give you liberty to do whatever you want. You still scriptures speak about, matter of fact, this is Judges 5 and verse 11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the place of drawing waters. So this is a future prophecy, because being delivered from the noise of archers is symbolic to being delivered from the nuclear destruction that's coming, on America, because America is going to be destroyed. You see? And it says in the places of drawing water, which the places of drawing water is symbolic for slavery. Because when you go draw water, you're basically a slave. You're carrying that water and drawing it. You're a slave. There's another precept, I believe, in Judges that speaks about, or an example about how you had particular men, that were put to the task of drawing water, and they were captive. You see, so that place of drawing water is symbolic for slavery, and that slavery would be also in America, predominantly America, where the Israelites are hostage, man, under the so-called white man. You see, it says, there shall they rehearse the righteous. Oh, that's another thing, man, because if you're in slavery, you're in bondage, you're restricted to doing particular things. You're under the authority of whoever is ruling over you, man. You can't establish your own things, man. You see, because being under the so-called white man, he has his own laws and legislations, man, which are not according to the Bible, which are not according to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai. So being under the authority of Esau Edom alone proves that we can't keep the law, because he issues out certain decrees. For example, the LGBTQ, the so-called white man made that legal, to be an alphabet person. He allowed that. He even goes as far as protecting them, so you being under his rule, or being a subject under the so-called white man, you can't do nothing to change that, because in the law it says you have to kill, someone that sleeps, you have to kill a man that sleeps with man, or a woman that sleeps with woman, but you're not going to do that in this society, because that's going to lead you, that's going to lead to your destruction, man. You're going to be put to jail, man, So reading on, it says, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord Yahweh, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord Yahweh go down to the gates. So in America, in this place of drawing water, we would rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, man. And the righteous acts are the laws, statutes, and commandments. Rehearsing meaning keep trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities, man. And in rehearsal, just like in any other rehearsal, whether that be practice in sports or rehearsing in for in an auditorium, man. You know, you make mistakes. You know, there's mistakes that are going to be made, but those mistakes, you know, they are good. You know, because you're trying to get it right. That's why it's good. That's why it's good to mess up, because at least you're trying. You know, those mistakes, you're trying to get it right, and because that's the end goal, right? When you rehearse something, the end goal is to perfect it. You see? So that's what we're doing with the law, man. You know, with the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Mashai. You know, knowing that we can't keep them completely, we know that we can keep some of them. You know, so we try to keep some of the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, understanding that it is still a rehearsal stage, man. You know, meaning you're gonna mess up, but you have to keep trying until that day of becoming perfect comes, man, and then we'll be perfect then. You know, because the Lord is going to change these bodies. And these bodies are also subject to vanity. That's what the Lord said. Matter of fact, this is the book of Romans 8 and verse 20. It says, for the creature was made subject to vanity. So the creature is speaking about us being in the flesh. You know, so we were made subject to corruption, man. Subject to vanity. Subject to being at fault. You know, subject to going off. It was programmed for the flesh to go off, to desire certain things, to want certain things, to think certain things. You know, it was designed like that. You know? It says not willingly, meaning we're not doing this on purpose. It says, but by reason of him who had subjected the same in hope. So the Lord did that. Why? So that we would hope, you know, in him. You know, we would hope in Yahweh Shai to come and deliver us from these bodies, knowing that we cannot keep his law, statutes, and commandments to perfection, man. You know? So let me go from there to the book of Proverbs 4 and verse 18. It says, but the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. You know, so this journey, you know, that we've begun to walk, you know, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be rehearsing the righteous acts and we're going to make mistakes. But what? We're going to keep improving more and more until the perfect day, until that perfect day comes, man. You know? So let's go back to James 2 and verse 10. It says, for whosoever shall keep the whole law. So if you want to justify yourself based off the law alone, you know, it says, for whosoever shall keep the whole law and yet offend in one point, he is guilty of all. You know, so if you want to basically measure your righteousness based off the law, based off keeping the law and your way, you know, your might to be able to keep the law, if you offend in one little thing of the law, then you're basically guilty of going off in the whole law. You know, so that also proves that you can't keep it. You can't keep the law perfectly in this society, man. You know, because the law gets intricate, man. It gets into detail. You know, to where your fabric, you know, certain fabric cannot be put together, cannot be worn together, man. You know, and that's, you know, being in a wicked kingdom, you can't keep that, man. You know, so it's not our righteousness is not measured based off the law, but it's based off, you know, our faith in Yahweh Shai, because we know faith is the most important attribute that you need, man. Believing in Yahweh Shai, believing that Yahweh Shai can pardon you, you know, for things that you purposely did, you know, purposely for iniquities that you purposely committed, and even for the ones that you subconsciously submitted, no, not knowingly, you know, unwillingly. You know, Yahweh Shai is able to forgive you, man, to pardon you. and Khan, that pretty much sums up the lesson, man. Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to say, Kah Halayim La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Ruach Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.